in just 20 years or so, that Colombian flag in the world of sport has come such an insanely long way. You must feel insane pride, like representing your country in the Olympics and the going out and winning multiple tour events.
It's hard to explain to people how big soccer is and how small golf is.
Fore-play presented by Barstool Sports. We got a big guest. We got Nico. Let me get it right again. Echavarria. It looks like Echavarria. I think I've said it like that before, but I grinded over the highlights to make sure that I could get it right. It is Echavarria is how you say his name. So Nico joins the show. We've had him on before. He's a fore-play guy, which he kind of showcases during the show, which I always love. He likes listening to the show. He compliments us on, kind of what we do, which makes me immediately fully endeared to him, and I love him forever. But he just won over in the Zozo. We go through all the details of his win, his life coming from Colombia, winning on the PGA Tour a couple of times. He played the Masters for the first time this next spring. We talk sports in general, so fantastic guest. So stick around. Nico talked to him for like an hour, so I felt a little bit bad because he was supposed to do some other interviews and we just kept him too long. But it was still a great interview. So last hour of the show was Nico. Right now you've got us. Happy Halloween, boys. When the show comes out, it's spookiest day of the year.
Wow, happy Halloween.
Yeah, very exciting. I love Halloween. I am pretty underprepared in terms of candy for the house. I hope Hannah has that set. I've been so damn busy going into the city with these Yankee games. We'll get into that. Just the funniest shit that I've ever seen in professional sports. And then we have Pop Punk this weekend. If you're listening to this and you're in New Haven, if you're in New York, Long Island, I'm taking the ferry over actually Friday morning. So there's really no excuse to not be able to get to New Haven. I'm hitting Sally's a Pete's at 12 o'clock. We got a huge crew. I got a big support group coming to New Haven. I got like 12 people coming from Long Island all the way up to New Haven. Tickets are still available. It's a big venue. It's Toad's Place. It's a historically incredible music venue. So if you're in the New Haven area, if the Yankees are in Game 6, we're playing the Yankee game behind me on the drums on the big screen. So it'd be like going to a bar to go watch the Yankees in the World Series while also having a sick show of all the Barstool people playing music. It's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you go check it out. It's Pup Punk New Haven. Click the link, however you're going to get there. Just type in Pup Punk New Haven. I'll see you there on Friday. But yes, Halloween, it's going to be a costume contest. So I'm very excited to get you guys know I love that shit. I wore like a Woody costume during streaming a couple years ago for all of Halloween. So I'm a big Halloween guy. I'm a big just get into like the actual holiday guy. Like really dive in deep.
Yeah, I gotta get candy. I'm in this house now in Florida. I live in a neighborhood. I got to get candy. You guys just reminded me. So I don't want the little kiddies coming to my house disappointed. I don't have any candy, so I'm gonna have to do that. But happy Halloween to everybody.
I'm gonna be in Pinehurst Village on Halloween night. I don't know if there's a lot of kids running around Pinehurst Village. I think it's kind of drinking resort guests and retired folk. It's kind of what I think there are. I might have a little bit of candy.
Grandkids visiting their grandparents.
What kind of candy are you going to give out?
I mean,
it's a big question, right? Like
obviously a pretty good mixed bag. I'm going to go with a couple of my favorites are the little mini Kit Kats, the little mini Nestle Crunch. I feel like that's a couple chocolates already. I've never done that part. I don't really know. I'm trying to think back to what I would have like scoffed at, and obviously I want to avoid those when you walk away from home.
That's like, and you guys know how much I love this candy, but they have them in little Halloween sizes now. Is the Nerd gummy clusters coming in these mini bags now? You toss them a Hershey's bar, just a classic Hershey's bar, and you throw them a little gummy cluster. I'm talking that is nice. I'm also a fan of salty and sweet. So you throw a little salt in there, maybe like a nice, like, I know this may sound like old man stuff, but you throw them like those little packets of the sourdough pretzels. Those like round sourdough pretzels? I think they're called sourdough pretzels.
No, I don't know what this is.
No, you don't know what I'm talking about?
You're giving out pretzels on Halloween?
But like you do that and then chocolate. It's almost like a combo. And I'm telling you, it's a nice combination of that salty and sweet. You're eating a lot of chocolate and a lot of sugar and a lot of all the same type of stuff. You get that crunch in you with the salt. I'm telling you, it goes a long way.
Okay.
I mean, I watched Frank the Tank yesterday take actual packets of salt and throw them in his mouth last night. Salt goes a long way.
Salt's great.
I'm a little worried, but I don't know that what you give out gets consumed in like your package the way that you mean? Doesn't it kind of just all gets thrown in their Halloween
It
bag?
does,
and
but
then-
like if it's just nice to get them. These little Snyders.
I like to picture Frankie giving the kids a lecture on how to eat the candy that he's
these
getting.
they're like, you
little,
got to eat this right now.
sourdoughs. You don't know
Oh,
the
Snyder's. I know Snyder's, but I've never
They're-
seen the sourdough before.
They're incredible. The crunch. Oh,
I like a Reese's peanut butter cup. I like a good
Mhm.
Snickers.
yep.
Yeah, I'll probably just
Baby
buy.
Ruth.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like is an Almond Joy.
Not a coconut fan.
I'm not a coconut man.
Snickers. I think Snickers is the number one for me. I think a Snickers is the greatest Halloween. Like a mini Snickers that you can just pop in there. The whole thing's in your mouth.
Probably right. I also love a Butterfinger.
Whole thing's in your mouth. It's good. It's delicious.
Anyway,
Happy
What are
Halloween.
you guys going to be for
everybody.
Halloween? Anything?
an overweight golfer who can't break 85.
I got to. I do want to dress up tomorrow. I'm going to be flying for most of the day, and then maybe I'll try to stop at a store on the way. And can you just can I just feel it out at the store? Or is that do you
Yeah.
have to have a kind of a whole plan?
Feel it out.
Yeah, you can feel it out.
Okay, I'm going to feel it out.
Buy what they got. You know,
I
If you-
do
if
want
you
to go
feel
to
it.
dinner. Going to Lisi Italian tomorrow night in Pinehurst Village, one of my favorite restaurants, and I want to go to dinner in a costume. That's that's my goal tomorrow night.
I don't think I'm going to dress up. I just don't think
I
I'm
haven't
going to.
dressed up in years, and I remember making a deal with myself a couple months ago when Halloween got on my radar, and I said I'm dressing up this year. So I want to get something.
If you're in the right setting, it's fun to really just dive deep into it. You just take over a character, kind of. Everyone's in costumes.
I'm not
And-
shitting on it. I'm
Yeah.
for it. You guys
Fun.
are doing a group costume for New Haven?
Yeah, we're doing a group one, so that'll be fun. Robbie and Nick Hamilton went to go get them, and they said that a New York City Halloween store on Tuesday before Halloween was the craziest place they've ever seen.
I believe
Just
that.
costumes everywhere, people going nuts, getting ready for there's a huge parade that goes down Manhattan. I think it goes right down 7th Avenue, the Halloween parade. So it's quite the time. New York City is. I don't even know if you need a parade in New York City for it to feel like Halloween. It's chaos right now. Some guy spit on my window. I talk about that with Nico. Nuts. That place is nuts.
Chevy, baby. Together, let's drive. Iconic bow tie, American. It's an American time of year with the Fall Classic, election season around the corner, and the Chevy Equinox EV, which helps you get the distance you're looking for. We're talking an available EPA estimated 319 miles of range on a full charge. Actual range can vary based on several factors. We got the best-in-class 17.7-inch diagonal standard touchscreen display. This thing is awesome, the Equinox EV.
So they're the leaders in cars. They're the leaders in automobiles, and the fact that they're taking their experience and all of their iconic features from all the cars that we know, and they're bringing it into an electric vehicle. This is the future. That's all you can see now on social media is electric vehicles, robots, all of these things. They're going to be a part of our future, our kids' future, their kids' future, and we're at the beginning of this thing. It's infancy. And Chevy is already dialing it into the point where it's affordable, it is comfortable, and it is, I would say, a must-have at this point.
We got roominess. We got no compromises in the interior with ample cargo room and convenient storage solutions. The Equinox EV accommodates with comfortable seating for up to 5 people. Head on over to Chevy.com/Equinox EV and check it out. Check out product info, lease offers, amazing deals. That is Chevy.com/Equinox EV. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
You know what else is nuts? New York Yankees. The Bronx was on fire last night.
Yeah.
I mean, just absolutely destroying the Los Angeles Dodgers. The bats awakening. It all happened. They're down 2-0. Freddie fucking Freeman. This guy. If this guy sees another fastball in the first inning, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. Stop throwing to this guy. Walk him. Do whatever you have to do to not let him hit. He has 6 consecutive World Series games with a home run. Stop letting him do that. But then it's when is he going to stop? You got to just keep throwing him fastballs and be like, I was arguing with this with Tommy where I was like, it's not that easy to hit home runs. Even the best players of all time don't do it every game. So at some point you got to throw him a fastball and he's just going to pop out 3 times. But he's not. He's hitting massively huge game starting 2-run, 3-run grand slams. It's it's unheard of what this man is doing. It's historical, really.
Baseball's weird. I wouldn't tempt fate. You got to walk him.
You're thinking like he can't do it again tonight. He
The
can't.
first thing
but he
I thought
can.
when I saw that, I said, why are they not just walking this guy? It is an outrageous take, I think. Like, just go look at the numbers. He's gonna get out all the time, but he's just hitting
7
home
times
runs.
out of 10. Like and then you're a Hall of Famer.
Baseball's weird.
Yeah. So the vibes were down, they're about to get swept 2-0. And then an angel was sent from above on the first baseline. You got these two absolute goonballs, just goombas, just complete Italian psychopaths who have season tickets. They've been there forever. These guys, by the way, they are part of the famous GIF. If you type in like Yankee fans, there's this GIF where there's these two guys smacking the side of the wall. And it's just the most Italian. They're wearing like open, unbuttoned Yankee jerseys, and they're leaning over the right field wall, over the foul wall, and they're just nailing the padding. It's those two guys. They've been going to games for years. People found his Twitter yesterday. All he does is he tweets at like Pornhub and Tommy Smokes for the short porch, just arguing with the short porch and loving the short porch. Just the ultimate dude. He rips a ball out of fucking Mookie Betts' glove. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen in sport.
It's incredible.
People were writing to me like, of course you would find this classless scum to be entertaining. Like someone could have gotten hurt out there. Fuck you. Fuck you. And fuck you. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on, or whatever that fucking saying is. Like, if you can't find a man grabbing the glove of an all-star outfielder during the World Series and prying it open like he's trying to get a ball out of a dog's mouth, like, and then acting like, oh yeah, he dropped it. Like, just like looking around being like, he fucking dropped it. And it all being in 4K slow motion where we can dissect every moment of it. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen in professional sports. It really is.
And his buddy not shoving him away, being like, this is crazy what you're doing here to Mookie Betts. He goes on the offensive and grabs Mookie Betts' wrist and is like, no, get that ball out of there, man. Come on.
There was a moment where Mookie Betts was suspended in the air by this guy. I mean, he could have like broken his wrist. Like he was suspended over the wall as this man tried to look, this picture is unbelievable. These pictures are out of control. And everyone around them's kind of watching them. This looks like an SNL skit. They look like they're on a set.
I think it probably will be an SNL skit now that you mention it.
Dude, they are so stereotypically Yankee fans. He's got the black fitted hat on. His friend is reaching in. Like, they understood the assignment. They're like, we've got no energy in this building. There's nothing. They're dead. They're about to get swept. If this ball comes to me, we're not letting him catch it. Like, we can't afford an out right now. That's literally what they were thinking, if you think about it. They're like, we can't make an out. We need to like get a rally going. If this comes to us, we need to knock it out of his glove. And even if he catches it, we have to pry it open and throw it behind us and act like he didn't catch it as if there's no cameras.
It worked. Did it not work?
Dude,
it did work. What a
unfortunately, it was the highlight of the series for the Yankees up until that point. Like, there was no pop, right? Like Giancarlo Stanton, like, yes, like there was things. Soto hit a home run earlier in the series. Like, there were moments, but like we were getting our fucking asses kicked. We had no chance. They had one hit through 8 innings in game fucking 3 of the World Series. Like, they had nothing going. And all of a sudden you have that moment and you just know something's going to change. And it did. The Yankees just like rallied off 11 runs last night. Like, it changed. I don't know if the players knew that it changed, but the energy in the building changed. Those guys got a standing ovation as they walked out. They got escorted out of the fucking out of the stadium.
Oh, if this goes the Yankees' way, they got to be on the parade float.
The problem that I had with it was like Fox wasn't going all in on it. Like, how come, for better or worse, you can spin it however you want. Like, I'm always going to find it to be funny and incredible. Other people will say it's classless and scummy. And like, of course, Yankee fans would do it. You're the lowest class organization in sports. You're a bunch of fucking Italian losers. I'm finding it to be just funny. And I just find the humor in all of it. Like, I think if you have a huge dump in your pants, if you can't find that to be funny. But Fox like didn't even show it. Like, they didn't go back and show the replays. They didn't go and show the guys getting kicked out. But then you have like Jeffrey Mayer, and you've got I was him for Halloween. The Cubs
Harry Carey?
Bartman. You've got Bartman.
Bartman.
You've got Bartman. Like, these are historically important characters in baseball history. I know that they had actual implications into the game and the results of the game, but like you gotta make that a storyline. Like they just acted like those guys didn't exist. That's crazy to me. You can spin it as a negative, but you have to show it. That has to be the highlight of the game at that moment.
I'm sure they're viewing it through the lens of just like when somebody runs on the field. Like, don't show it, don't motivate it, you don't want people doing this in the future. I'm not saying that this is my side of it.
Right.
I'm with you. I thought it was great. It's a great baseball moment. It's a historical baseball moment, especially if they push this thing to 7 game, whatever happens, but it's a moment that's going to live on in history. But the side of like the network, they're like, well, we don't want to motivate people jumping and ripping players' hands.
I guess
open.
My point is, we know those other guys like names. They're like they're folklore legends. Like they're these names that are like, can you believe that happened in a baseball game? Like this is as crazy as that. The guy literally opened up the fucking glove. I've never seen anything like it.
Well, that's
it was
the
assault.
difference, right?
It was assault.
The other stuff is accidental. Like Bartman wasn't.
Yeah.
He didn't mean to like affect the play. He was just like, oh shit, I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time
assault,
here.
Brother.
These guys,
you're right.
These guys, dude, him trying to rip the ball, like it's just different. So I'm with you, but I can see why Fox is like, we don't really want to motivate.
Their
Yankee
point
fans
is like we cannot have it where we're saying if you do something this psychotic, we will make you famous and popular and part of our TV coverage. Like, no, we can't have that. But it was stunning. It was one of the most stunning things I think I've ever seen. And they did. I mean, when they first started showing the slow mo, it like you couldn't believe how relentless their effort was. Like their effort was relentless. They weren't like, oh my God, we accidentally found ourselves in this spot. We're kind of it was like, we're here, we're digging in, we're not going anywhere. We got work to do here.
It was like they had pre-planned it. They had pre-planned.
Right.
Like when this glove ends up on my lap, I'm not letting it go. Like you ain't getting this ball. You're not getting this ball, no matter how hard you try. It's so good, man. And knowing that those guys have had season tickets and like they've been waiting for that moment for a long time, like in the World Series, the spark that we needed, man. I actually have I'm laughing. I'm holding back such an outrageous laugh that I actually have tears forming in my eyes right now. I think that's the funniest thing that's ever happened in sports.
I know you guys are. I mean, it's tough. These games are like right in a row. So when we record, like game 5 is already
the
happened,
series could be over right now,
which is so annoying. Like, give me a little bit of a break so we can talk about it. But I know tonight, in the past, you're watching with Francesa. If Tommy Smokes knows these two guys, bring them to the office.
I know. They'll probably be at the game unless they're banned for life. That would be insane.
You think they can go right back?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I'll be stunned if they're there on the sideline there. But Francesa is going to be in the building tonight. That's a crazy moment. Like I might even call my dad and be like, "Do you want to just come watch this game with us?" Because that is a dream. Like Mike Francesa, for people in the late 90s and the early 2000s. I mean, this guy is like every New York sports fan went to him to just hear his take on the Yankees and on the Giants and on the like. This was the take that you just wanted to hear, whether you agreed with him or you didn't. You wanted to hear his opinion, and you also like always had this vision of like, what is he like when he actually watches the games? Like there would be pictures of him at Citi Field or Yankee Stadium or like a Rangers game. You're like, Francesa's watching the sport. Like, is he like, what's his take going to be tomorrow? And we get to sit here during a World Series game and watch the Yankees take on the Dodgers and listen to him like dissect the game. And does he get excited? Does he get angry? Does he call people out? Like this, it sounds stupid, but like to guys that have spent their whole sport watching lives, like wondering about this guy and really like listening to him as if he is the Pope, like he is the sports Pope, to be able to sit next to him. I think I'm sitting behind him. I'm like, I'm going to grab his shoulders and be like, we hit a home run. This is so surreal. This is a surreal moment.
It's like being in the room with a great inventor when they're inventing something. It's like, oh, we get to be here with Thomas Edison. And it's like, how does he go about it? What's his process? Wow.
People will hate this comparison, but it'd be like sitting in a room with an ex-president, like watching like war stories or something like like watching something unfold in the nation, like an election or something, like, right? Like, what are you thinking right now? Like, as these votes are coming in, like this is Francesa watching the World Series. We get to ask him questions about like historical World Series and like who he thinks this is comparing to and like where he was when the Yankees won in 99, 2000, like this is it. This is for me. This is everything.
It's great.
This is everything. He's a legend.
Really
I gotta bring my dad tonight. Me and my dad would run into the car after, like if in the mornings, he would pick me up from school, and then like Mac and the Mad Dog would be on right there because it would always be in the afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. And then I would always just sit in the car longer. We would be sitting in our driveway just listening to Mike Francis and the Mad Dog for no reason at all. Like I'm an 11-year-old kid just sitting in like an old Nissan just in our driveway. Instead of going inside and playing with toys, we're just listening to these two men babble about sports. So I can't wait tonight. I cannot wait for tonight.
I had a little DraftKings over bet last night, so shout out to DraftKings. That was fun. That was nice. That always feels good.
I had a crazy bet last night. I was like getting kind of hot on these next pitch bets where you could bet like ball or strike. You start to get a feel for like when the ball, like a pitching change comes in. And the Dodgers are down by 6. This guy's coming in. He doesn't want to give another run. He's going to throw a sweeper away. It's going to be a ball. It's plus 125. We hit it. We go nuts. In the 9th inning, I bet the New York Yankees pitcher on the 3rd pitch was going to throw a ball over 92.5 miles per hour. Right. So this is on the DraftKings Sportsbook app.
So cool.
On the first 2 pitches, he threw like this like 93 mile an hour like sinker outside. And then on the 3rd pitch, we're like, oh shit, he's going with the changeup for sure. It was a 1-1 count. He had thrown 2 pretty fast balls, and we're like, there's no chance he brings the heat here. And all of a sudden, he threw this like 95 mile an hour fastball way out of the zone, and the guy just tipped it off, and we went nuts. So if there is still a game tonight or tomorrow when you're listening to this, and the Yankees won last night because we are living in the past right now. You have to go on the DraftKings Sportsbook and you have to figure out how to get these bets in because they are fun. They are so much fun. I love them.
Yeah, DraftKings, it really does make it fun. So shout out to there being a million runs last night because that was fun for me too. It can be exhausting following the countless rules and regulations of golf. We're kind of looking at you, cart path only signs. That's why when it comes time for a drink, we reach for one that breaks all the rules. We are talking about the new Truly Unruly. Truly Unruly is a high ABV drink that does not follow any of hard seltzer's usual rules. It is 8% ABV, but still light and refreshing. It comes in 4 bold, party-ready flavors that still pair perfectly with a nice, refreshing day on the course. Most importantly, it's just as good pre-tee off as it is at the 19th hole. Truly Unrulies, boys.
Wow. I didn't know these were a thing. So the fact that I'm experiencing this for the first time. This is a read that's really
welcome
hitting me
to the
hard.
bold new world, you know.
Truly Unrulies. I'm very excited to try these. 8% that's something. You know, it's there.
Knock your socks off. That'll knock your
I
socks
believe
off.
they're going to be at the Barstool Classic Championship.
Wow.
It sure will be.
So that's a nice little wrinkle into the championship. You know, you're throwing 8%ers at these guys. They're out there trying to win some cash. They're playing in the biggest tournament of their lives. And all of a sudden it's like, hey, yeah, have this little drink, 8%. That's going to hit you hard. It's going to hit you hard quick. And that's what it should do. It's a party
Separate
drink.
the men
4
from the
bold
boys
flavors.
At the Barstool Classic
Separate the men from the
Championship.
boys. Bring these to the parties. Make sure that these are part of your party packs. You're walking into a nice, a darty, a nice fall darty, and you got Truly Unrulies on you. You're a winner. And it's like a conversational piece. It's like, dude, have a sip of this.
It's like, did you win that Barstool Classic Championship that was the Truly Vodkas, or did you win the Truly Unruly one?
That's big.
It's like you won WrestleMania. That's pretty legit. Find it near you at trulyhardseltzer.com/locations. Truly Hard Seltzer Beverage Company, Boston, Massachusetts. Please drink responsibly. We got to talk about some, the PGA Tour released a bunch of new policy potential changes that have to now get approved by the policy board. Just combing through some of the quick hitters. Basically, they're going to reduce field sizes. They're going to kind of reduce exemption statuses, the number of PGA Tour cards that could be obtained each season through the Korn Ferry Tour and the Q School, and they're going to make some changes to the pace of play policy. The big ones are just like they're going to reduce the max field size from 156 to 144. Other fields they're going to reduce from 132 to 120 players. They're claiming it's due to darkness. They said 28% of tournaments in 2024, 12 out of the 43 had at least one round that wasn't completed on the scheduled day due to darkness. So they're going on and saying that obviously less players in the field will allow them to get everyone through without there being issues pace of play wise for darkness. They're going to reduce Korn Ferry Tour cards. So if you recall, like a month ago, we had our boy Alistair, and he was just right on the brink. Came down to two guys, had putts on the last hole of the entire year on the Korn Ferry Tour. If just one of them missed, he gets his tour card because he would have finished inside the top 30. They're going to reduce those cards from 30 to 20. And then they're also going to reduce right now. If you finish top 125 on the PGA Tour, you keep your PGA Tour card for the following year. They're going to reduce that from 125 to just the top 100. So essentially, they're going to make it way harder for people that are on the Korn Ferry Tour, for people that are trying to make it, for guys like our guy Alistair, and they're going to reduce field sizes and all of that. One of my big gripes with this whole thing, and a lot of it comes, honestly, it's like driving me crazy with watching golf now that I've been watching baseball in the World Series, is how much these changes in baseball have dramatically increased the viewing experience of the game. Yep. And man, I haven't really watched a full baseball game all year long until the World Series. It's just not my big thing. The Cardinals kind of sucked this year, so I wasn't that into it. Watching these games is laughable at how fast it is. It's laughable at how quickly they go pitch to pitch to pitch. And it is laughable at how much more of an enjoyable experience it is just watching the action. We are lunatics. We have entertainment at the tip of our fingers all day, all night. Our attention spans are minimal. TikTok has taken over everything. Twitter, we don't read any articles now. We just read like fucking a sentence on Twitter. We have no attention spans whatsoever. We need action. So the fact that the game moves so much faster in baseball because of this, the counter and the pitch clock and how much time that you have, makes me so upset that they're like, we're going to cut how many people are involved basically at the highest level of professional golf and have a chance to play on the PGA Tour. We're going to cut the amount of people. We're going to cut Monday qualifiers, which is fucking outrageous. They're going to cut out Monday qualifiers for events that don't have 156 people. They're going to limit the amount of sponsors exemptions. They're going to limit the amount of people that have the chance to play on the PGA Tour and create a career for themselves. And they're arguing it's because of darkness and pace of play. Just be fucking stricter on pace of play. I don't get it. I'm going through and I'm looking, and they've got all this time, and we watch guys take forever to hit shots, and then we hear about these rounds. I was looking, it's like they're claiming that like groups of 4 must play an 18-hole round in 4 hours and 21 minutes, while groups of 3 must play in 4 hours and 3 minutes. These U.S. Open rounds and some of these big tournaments rounds where they don't get to finish due to fucking darkness are taking 6 hours out there. So who the fuck? It's just driving me nuts. Like if you would just, as an organization, set strict rules on pace of play and enforce them. Like guys have to hit shots in 30 seconds. That's what you get. You hit a shot in 30 seconds. That's fucking it. And you get 1 per 9 where you get to get a 60-second extension or something. And every time they violate it, bang, 1-stroke penalty. Bang, 1-stroke penalty. Like something aggressive, I think, would make a huge difference in the game and wouldn't even need them to do all of this, limiting the number of people that are basically going to be able to play in PGA Tour events and have PGA Tour cards.
It's embarrassing for golf that baseball is the model that they should be following. Baseball,
right,
historically, one of the slowest moving, just won't make any changes, refuses to speed up the game, or they don't want to mess with the history, blah, blah, blah. They finally do, and it's exactly what Riggs just said. It worked. It's a testament to if you speed something up, it's going to work, because the attention spans are at 0.0 seconds. Nobody's paying attention to anything anymore. So to ask them to pay attention to a round of golf that's going to take however many hours is insane. Baseball is a perfect example. Change it, make it better, and it can work. They're just scared to do it. They don't want to, nobody wants to walk up to a golfer during a professional tournament and be like, hey, you got a stroke penalty there because you went over the 30 seconds. That's the only reason. That's why all these changes have to happen. They can say it's because of darkness, but it's because everybody's taking too fucking long. But it's because people are scared to actually put these rules into effect, even if you have them. Like if you say they come up with a rule, but nobody's going to enforce it, and it doesn't matter, then it still takes 5 hours. So yeah, that's really what it comes down to, is just enforcing a rule where guys have to speed up. That's it. And if they won't do that, then nothing's going to change.
Simply come up with a shot clock and enforce it. Simple as that.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
This isn't that crazy. It's not. This isn't.
Bro, fucking baseball did it.
Yeah, and I get that baseball is a little bit easier because you're all in one stadium and there's one clock that everyone can see, and it's like if you don't do this, it's a ball, and if you don't get into the batter's box, it's a strike. So like it's very simple as opposed to like one guy's looking for his golf ball and he gets an allotted amount of time for that, and like another guy is like going to go up and check like whatever, like maybe he has a rules question, but there needs to be all these rules in place and everyone just knows them and just enforce them. I mean, there's a rules official that follows every single group, right? So like no matter how many groups that are out there, they are supposed to be, I guess, monitoring a shot clock or some sort of inner shot clock. That's like if this guy continues to take way too much time, he's going to get a warning, and then the next time he's going to get assessed a stroke penalty. But like this should be a very hard set 45 seconds. Maybe the first time you get a warning, and the second time it's like, dude, once the 45 seconds is up, I'm going to come over there and I'm going to say that you got a stroke penalty. I don't think they're going to be able to blow a horn. Like in baseball, they literally blow, like the umpire will step away and be like, it's a ball.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that in golf. It's not that easy. It's not everyone's in one little spot. So that's a little bit more difficult. You can't make
They're
it like
definitely
baseball.
not. But you're looking, there's $25 million purses each week. The tour is doing about $2 billion in revenue. And I think in order to protect and improve your product, it ain't that hard to have somebody that follows along and does a little clock. And even if you don't blow a horn, like I was actually thinking about, they should eliminate rules officials being called over, and you simply have to know the rule, execute the incident properly, and if you don't, everything gets reviewed that evening. Anyone who violated a rule gets whatever stroke penalty is attached to that rule violation, and you move on the next day, and the violation of pace of play would be included in that. So it's like we don't have all these pauses. You don't get to sit there on a typical where your ball's on a cart path and they bring the rules official over, they put a tee down, they put the driver down. Dude, you know how to take fucking relief from a cart path. Everybody on planet Earth knows how to do that. They do it every single time. They call the rules official over. Used to be the legend Slugger White, I believe, who would come over in his golf cart with the cowboy hat and do the whole fucking thing. And they only have a few actual rules officials come over. Where did this ball technically cross? Guess what? The way that rule works, you work with your playing partners, you talk to them real quick. I think it crossed here. This guy thinks it crossed there. We'll compromise. We'll say it crossed there. Fine. You know the rule from there. Take your drop, hit your shot. So that part of it drives me crazy as well, where it's like there's just this ingrained, and it used to be in baseball too, this just ingrained pace where you just take your time, make sure all that. And I think that if you give people this shot clock, they will just naturally train or change what's ingrained in them. They'll speed up, they'll move faster, they'll play faster. We talked to Kevin Na about it, where he's like, I literally in the offseason worked on speeding up my pre-shot routine and my waggle, and then it just became part of my routine. Bang, I play way faster. So I get that golf is different. It's very hard to police, but it's like you shouldn't have to call a rules official over for everything. Golf's a game where you police yourself. You should know the fucking rules. You should be able to execute them properly. And if you don't execute them properly in a certain situation, then you get penalized for it. But you don't have to go through the whole thing in real time. You might get penalized for it later. That's what you get for not knowing the fucking rules or doing something wrong. That's just how the game works.
I'm also open to a trial run. First half of the year, you run this shot clock, and you tell guys you would have been assessed a stroke penalty here, and here. So then they start to feel it, and then the second half of the year, you're like, it starts now. So if you fuck this up, now you're getting these stroke penalties that we just did a trial run for the first half of the year. You can't spring it on guys right away. You got to let them acclimate to it, like you're saying. But then at some point, you just got to be like, hey, boys, it's now. And you've sort of gotten a feel for it over the last 5 or 6 months, but now we're starting it, and now we're off and running.
Yep, and they've kind of got the bones of it, but they just don't execute upon it, and it's not considered a particularly serious thing. Like they They understand that if you're the first guy that gets to your ball after the tee shots, you are allocated a little bit more time than the others because you just got there. They walk up to theirs. You're the first guy to go through all theirs while you're hitting. They could go through their process. But there needs to be legitimate consequences for violating this pace. And there just simply cannot, like, rounds cannot take 5+ hours on the PGA Tour. They play in threesomes maximum. They play in threesomes. So it's like, how in the fuck can you take that long? They're so good. That should just be a part of the game. You got to make your calculations. You got to make your decisions quickly. Then you got to step up, hit your shot, just like a pitcher has to do that. Pitcher has to fucking get that ball back. They got to communicate with the catcher, figure out what pitch they're going to throw, take their stance on the mound, and fucking throw it. And that has changed the product. It changed the game in what appears to be an incredibly healthy way. I think golf could benefit from the same instead of being like, we need less people playing on the PGA Tour. That's psychotic that's like the route that they're going.
Also, from a player perspective, I get it. If they're not going to enforce it, I'm going to take all the time in the world. Like, if I were a player now, I'd be like, yeah, I'm doing what they allow. Like, if they're not going to enforce this shit, then I'm going to take advantage of it. If that last little 5 seconds is the reason why I hit the green or why I miss the green, I'm going to take as much time as I want. So from their angle, I get it. But there has to be somebody who steps up and says, no, we're enforcing this shit now. And players will adjust. I guarantee it.
This is like the MLB saying that the MLB games are taking too long, so we're going to only let 7 guys get up at bat.
Right.
Like, instead of figuring out how to get through the 9 players quicker, they're just taking guys off the roster, which is what they're doing now in the PGA. That just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I mean, the average like public golfer gets pushed along faster than a professional golfer, and like you would think that it should be the opposite way. Like an amateur should know less about like his next shot and how to assess it, and should almost take more time like trying to figure out how to hit that golf ball close to the hole. A professional knows the game in and out so well, like you're saying. They know all the rules, they know all the regulations, they know exactly what shot they're going to hit. They are also peak athletes, and if you want to start making these guys like, you know, more athletic, then having things be more, you know, quick and fast twitching and like thinking on your feet and like having to think under pressure and not having as much time as you want to like settle down, that's going to bring out the best in the best players also.
Yes. And it affects the other players when guys play extremely slowly. You're affecting the other guy's ability to do the job to the point, like Brooks Koepka's brought it up, where he's been like, yeah, when I play with certain guys, like there's all kinds of hilarious clips of him. He's rolling his eyes. He's over there trying to like talk to the fucking trees to kill time.
Brian Harmon on our own show said that the reason he has that insane waggle is because he was playing too fast and was realizing he was getting frustrated waiting for other guys. And then his brain broke because he continuously kept like thinking of new ways to like come up with a new routine because he was just stepping up and hitting. That it turned one of the fastest players in the tour into the slowest player, which is hilarious. Like, it's all broken. That's broken.
Yeah, and it's so broken. And I think the reason that it's broken is because not everybody plays by the same parameters. And that's when you get a broken system. Whereas I think if you sort of just allow whatever, which is what they currently do, there's been like a couple penalties in the history of the world, is like if you have a parameter and that is 30 seconds or 40 seconds and you actually stick to it and enforce it, then everybody's playing by the same rules. And therefore, everyone's got to perform comparatively to their players, to their colleagues and their competition the best. And right now it's just not the same. And I agree, you got to be mentally tough to get through if somebody's playing a little bit slow and this and that, but it's clearly hurting the product to the point where they're going to cut how many people play in fields. It's that big of a thing. They had whatever that number was, 20 something percent. What was that? 28% of tournaments, 28% had at least one round that wasn't completed on the schedule simply due to darkness. They know what time the sun comes up. They know what time the sun goes down. How in the fuck do you have a delay and you have to have rounds be finished the next day because of something that we have known for thousands of years exactly what time it's going to be bright and exactly what time it's going to be dark? That is fucking crazy. So it's clearly
I would be curious to know if they took an average of, like, say last year, they took how long everybody took to hit a shot. You get that number and what that average is. I'm not saying it needs to be 15 seconds. Like, it doesn't have to be like, get to the ball. Okay. All right. Now I'm here and I'm over the ball and I got to hit. It's like, whatever it is now, say it's, I don't know, 3 minutes, then cut it to a minute and a half. You don't have to put these guys under the gun, but at least put it to a parameter where it's going to cut time off of the tournament.
I agree. And then enforce
and assess them with that stroke right away. so that everyone knows like that immediately. You now have an extra stroke. You made a bogey. It's a double bogey. Move on to the next hole, and you should not have that warning anymore. Play faster, or else I'll do it again. Simple
Yes.
as that.
That's the part they're
Enforce it.
missing.
Pace of play. And it's clearly an issue on tour among the players because of this, what we're talking about right here. All of these proposals basically are all due to darkness. And if you remember the Bryson situation back then, every player was talking about it. Every player was harping on it. And it's clearly been an issue. So that's kind of our take on the new proposals. I'm not a big fan of it. I think they need to worry more about pace of play than they do about limiting field size. I think that's ridiculous. Life in a golf cart is great. It's the best. Trent's talking about he's starting to get acclimated into that world. There's really nothing better. Life in an easy-go golf cart is just premium. It's elite. It's where you strive to be. It's what you work towards. It's what you try to build up towards. It's what you try to get to is living life in an easy-go cart. There's other companies out there that are trying to do it. None of them got the history. None of them got the reliance, the years of just being able to rely upon it. You go to your nice golf course, you look at their cart fleet, they're going to have Easy Goes because they are the best in the business. Easy Go sponsors the Barstool Classic. We're actually going to give one away by going to this link, which we're going to talk about. But life in an Easy Go golf cart is just a better life.
I'm getting one of these. So
Yeah, baby.
I'm ready for my life to change. Like I'm already just like looking at the future and being like, how much better is my life going to be when that Easy Go cart arrives? And I know it's going to be way, way better. My life it's pretty good right now, but I know it's going to be 10 times better when I get an Easy Go cart. I can drive it around my neighborhood. I can drive it to the coffee shop. We talked about it last time, but it's a lifestyle choice. And having a golf cart, being able to drive one around your neighborhood with an Easy Go is just, it's where you want to be. So I'm very, very excited to start that new chapter of my life with an Easy Go.
We do a lot of reads and we talk a lot about our partners and a lot of our sponsors, but this one in particular, there's a link that we are going to read to you that you have to go type in on your phone, or you can click on
Classic, barstoolclassic.com/easygosweeps.
and you're going to have a chance to just win one. So like of all the things that we talk about, this is such an easy thing for you to go enter that you're a moron if you don't go click this link and enter into it. You could win a free Easy Go. And then when you're at that website, just take a look at what the options are. Maybe you do live in an area that these Easy Go carts are something that you'd be interested in. Maybe this is in your ballpark or something like a nice little new toy that you'd want to add to your garage and drive around to the coffee shop. Or maybe you have an old one, you want a new one, you want to upgrade. This is the one to get. I'm telling you, go to the website, enter the sweepstakes, because you would be stupid not to, and then browse. That's all we're asking. Just go browse.
We're hooking one of you guys up with the Easy Go Express S4, and all you have to do is go to barstoolclassic.com/easygosweeps, enter for a chance to win this brand new Easy Go Express S4. Bushman, do we need to do closest to?
Trent has it today. Do
All
you,
right.
Trent?
I do have it. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
All right, let's do a little closest to the pin. And
Weird
then
week,
can
I
throw
will
it to
say.
Nico.
It was harder for me to come up with these. There's no golf.
Yeah, that is weird. Is there nothing this week?
There's nothing.
Wow, that is shocking.
I looked at every tour. I probably missed one, but the ones that I looked at, there's nothing going on.
It's tough.
All right, last week we had, first was total runs in World Series Game 1. 9 runs. Frankie and I win that at 10.
Yeah, baby.
Second one was the ending time of Game 1. 11:38 p.m., which was Trent, who had a 11:31.
Ooh, what did I say on that one?
You said 11:23.
Yeah,
I said 10 something. Fucking way out.
You said
Not that
10:57. Yeah.
this
Jeez.
guy's high on
Yeah, it's not
MLB
that
getting
fast.
faster.
Hour and a half. Cut this thing out. Let's go.
let's go here. Yeah,
Third
dinner.
was winner and the margin for Oregon versus Illinois, where they dusted them and won by 29. So Trent took that at 31.
Jesus.
What did I
And
say in
then
that one?
You said 34. So you were
Damn.
4 off, or no, you were 5 off. He was 2 off.
Damn. Okay.
And then the last one, we have our first negative points. Passing yards for Josh Allen at Seattle. And Trent got fucked because the Bills killed them so bad that Josh didn't play the last 3 drives.
Brutal.
So He had 283 yards, and Riggs won that, and Trent lost 2 points.
I was
21
close.
off.
What did I say there?
You said 276.
Wow.
All right.
Pretty good.
It's pretty much a wash for me. I won so many points this week that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you kind of
did.
lost them back. Yeah. So final standings right now: 61 for Trent, 55 for Alex, 47 for Riggs, and 41 for Frankie.
Okay.
All right, I got him this week. We'll start off. Iowa football has a new quarterback. I know you guys have
Wow.
been keeping tabs on this. You're
Not
very excited
Cade
about it.
McNamara anymore.
Cade McNamara is hurt this week, but it's been a bit of a controversy the last couple of weeks just because, Cade seems like a great guy, but hasn't been playing all that well. So the new QB1 in Iowa City is Brendan Sullivan. He played a good amount in the last game, and he was a shot in the arm for the offense. They scored 40 points, blew them out. It was exciting to watch. He had this one play where he threw a short pass and then ran in front of the receiver and started blocking for him, and that fired everybody up. Gary Ryan very fired up about that play.
Oh, it's exciting.
Brendan Sullivan, the Iowa Hawkeyes, they play Wisconsin this week at Kinnick. How many passing yards will the new quarterback of the Iowa Hawkeyes have this week against Wisconsin?
Jesus.
Our savior.
We're going to the fore-play group here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This could be a crazy guess on either direction. In either direction.
I think all of them are. All right.
Yeah.
Trent 194.
Conservative. Oh,
Man, this guy has no confidence.
No way.
I know what an
Riggs
194 would be. What'd you guess?
We said the
said
same
194.
fucking number.
Frankie 194. No, I'm kidding. Frankie
oh my God, that would
188.
be crazy.
188.
right there,
Alex
too.
241.
wow.
241 is a historic day in Iowa City. If that
I mean,
happens.
they're juggernauts now, dude. I'm taking the over.
241. I legit. Speaking of Gary, I think he would have a heart attack. If that happened. Okay. I
Dude,
like that we're all.
are you seeing this? That Gronk, Gronk like went to college. He's like, that's his college buddy, the guy that ripped that ball out of that glove.
No
No
way.
way.
No.
There's a whole clip of him talking on ESPN, being like, "I went to college with that guy." He goes, "Shout out to you for shining in your moment." Like he goes, "He's a beauty."
That doesn't surprise me
That is,
at all.
dude, because a lot of his tweets are about Gronk. So we were like, this guy loves Gronk, Pornhub, and the short porch. This is just unbelievable.
Oh, he's a superstar, especially if they win this series. My second one, the New York Islanders and the New York Rangers play on Sunday.
Oh fuck, we're so bad right now.
These two New York hockey teams, one that we're very familiar with, they play on Sunday. How many shots on goal will the Islanders have? Now, I didn't do any research on this.
man.
I figured I would let Frankie, we might have to cut him off at some point, but I wanted to let him talk for like a minute about what he thinks of how many shots on
We've
goal
actually-
New York.
I mean, the Islanders are playing poorly. They lost at home to the Anaheim Ducks last night, but they also had 40 shots on goal. They had 41 shots on goal last night. I think the goalie made 40 saves. So they're peppering goalies, and it's starting to get to like a frustrating like kind of level here where it's like they just can't get the puck in the net. I would say they're averaging. I want to look it up, like how many shots
They're
on
averaging
goal.
33 this year.
Dude, that's a lot. Like
Yeah.
It is a lot.
they're firing pucks. That has to be up there in the NHL. So it's the Rangers. It's at MSG. I think it's a day game. Day games are always a little weird. They tend to be like defensive games, but
Shout out to the Blues. Lost a barn burner last night to Ottawa.
8-1.
8-1. 8-1.
yeah, it's dark times right now. The Islanders, it's not good. Not many fans in the stands, and
Oh no.
I don't know. I'm seeing that a lot though. I saw like a Buffalo. I saw the Sabres. Like they had a lot of empty seats behind the net. Like I'm seeing a lot of places across the NHL. It's just becoming really expensive sometimes for guys to get to that many games. Like there's a lot going on right now. You can go to MLB playoffs. You can go to NBA. You can go to the NHL. There's just a lot of entertainment. So it's like, fuck, how many people are going to Islander games? I don't know.
What would you, this is not closest to, what would you guys guess the temperature was out this morning when I went to get my coffee at about 7:15 a.m. in Scottsdale?
Well, it's got to be getting nicer there, right?
92.
84.
It was 47 degrees.
I was gonna say it's got to be
What?
getting nicer.
Yeah.
That's
Dude.
crazy.
I still
Isn't
guessed
that
84.
nuts?
What is it now?
62 right now.
And that's nice.
Okay. Answers for Islanders shots on goal: Riggs 27, Trent 25, Frankie 30, Alex 27.
Okay. Oh, I like that. So I have the high.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's his dream.
And Riggs has a partner for both of them.
Okay.
All right, third
Or a
one
tie.
here. I don't know if you guys have heard, but there's an election coming up.
Wait, really?
And you guys let me know
Wow.
if this is too third rail.
You want to
for a
cast
golf
my ballot
podcast.
today? Actually, it's
What's
as
that?
American as you can get. You just go put in a vote. It's all I can do as a human.
USA.
Casted mine.
USA.
Just fun. It's good.
All right,
It
now
makes
let's
you
go
feel
around. We're
good.
going to say who we vote. No, that's so. Mine
Let's
is,
everyone- Let's go around the table here.
but it is presidential election themed. And by this next week, so we record every Wednesday. A week from now, I don't know what I forget. Are they tallied up immediately? Like, will we know by the time we record next Wednesday?
There's a lot of bickering about that because I think that they're saying with all each state sort of got a different situation. I think Maricopa County here where I live has been saying they might not be able to get the results till like Thursday or Friday for some reason. So people are freaking out about that.
Okay.
Depends on how close and if they want to try and steal it again.
But that's again.
Well, I was going to
The
say,
more
so
days that go by, the more kind of murkiness the water gets, and it's just
I saw people are lighting. They're like lighting ballot boxes on fire. This country is certainly in a good spot.
crazy. I don't know how. Whatever.
Certainly.
It's crazy. If I was president, I would say everyone's got to do it on some sort of. I have to scan my freaking face to get into like a photo app on my phone. I can't do that to vote for the freaking president of the United States. It's crazy. We got to figure something out. Send a little piece of technology to every single person and just hit a button. Let's go.
Hackers, bro.
Hackers. I know. Crazy.
All right.
Depends if
so
you don't
my-
necessarily want everyone to have to,
It's
know.
true. I know.
Don't make it too
Depends
easy.
depends who you are.
Bad.
Don't make it.
So mine is my question. My third one is how many electoral votes will the winning presidential candidate get? So you need
Mm.
270 to win.
Mm-hmm.
So I would recommend having a number higher than that. But outside of that, like for example, Biden in 2020, again, if you believe the results, 306 electoral votes.
Right.
Trump in 2016,
20,000
304.
304. Okay.
Now there might be something to this. I might be making this too simple. Like, it could be anything over 270, right?
I mean, there's a couple combinations that I don't think we're all going to like know but
You might have an advantage here, Riggs.
no, not really. Cause it's not like I'm a math guy. I just, I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't know if this is even a possible number, but I'm going to throw it out there.
I know that's the thing, but we don't know. I don't know any.
All right. Frankie 310, Alex 301, Trent 301, Riggs 296.
All right. Again, we might not know by the time, but we'll know eventually.
There's a chance none of those are possible numbers, but they're going to be close.
Right. It's like picking like a Ryder Cup number that's like impossible.
Luckily, yeah, just closest to. It doesn't have to be right on.
Love it.
Fourth one. Again, it was a week where there's no golf, so I didn't have much. I have bought a spinning top on Amazon. Okay. It's like the one from Inception.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm going to spin that top on next Wednesday's show. How long will that top spin? Now, I do have a little bit of a background from Amazon.com. It says in the description, long spinning time and perfectly balanced. Many people can spin for over 5 minutes. On the concave crystal glass base for skilled adults, the large size can easily spin for 6 to 8 minutes.
What?
The medium and small size can go 4 to 6. I bought the large size. So improve technique and constantly challenge yourself for the longest spin. I'm going to practice a little bit.
Are you gonna do this on the
Okay.
floor?
I'll do it.
Quite the audio experience.
Do it
I know
on-
it's not a great audio experience.
Do it
We'll
on the
have to talk
floor.
our way through it. You know what I mean?
If you do it on a
Right,
table, it's
right,
gonna
right.
fall off in like 10 seconds. You gotta do it on the floor. Let it. Oh yeah, practice it. But I think the floor is nice.
I'll do
Do
floor.
can you give yourself a golf handicap version of your skill level of spinning it? Do you know?
Well, I don't have this thing yet. It's getting delivered tomorrow.
Okay.
Did you order
I
this just for this? Or
Yeah.
You just
What
want a
else?
spinning
What else
top?
am I gonna do with a fucking top? Do I think I'm in a dream? I don't know.
Um,
Like, so I'm gonna get it, and I'm gonna practice a little bit. So I think I'll be pretty good at it, especially if I do it on the floor. It's a good idea because then it'll just go for it'll be great.
Good thing you read that. I was going to say like 40 seconds.
I knew that was important because I was stunned when I saw that number.
wow, I don't even know.
We could be way off on these.
Feels like that would be a good spin. That's a good spin, I think. Long fucking time. Minutes forever, dude.
Forever. We'll have to talk through it because it's not going to be again a great audio experience. But
All right. Frankie, 3 minutes, 11 seconds. Alex, 3 minutes, 1 second. Riggs, 2 minutes, 41 seconds. And Trent, 3 minutes, 52 seconds.
Wow.
I got confidence in myself.
Yeah.
Breaking news: the fans have been banned by the MLB.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They cannot. Their tickets have been refunded for tonight.
dude.
We got to get them into the stream.
get them
man.
in the office.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Tommy Smokes has already talked to the
He's
guy.
all over it.
Yeah. All right, those are my closest to the pin.
All right. I like it. I don't think we have anything else, gentlemen. I think we're pretty much done.
It's a long show, especially with the interview that's coming up.
Yeah, it's great.
It's long. It's good.
Good
Give
stuff.
it to the people.
Let's go Yankees.
Yeah, I'd like it to be a tighter series. Our guy, what a performance in Game 3, by the way, from Walker Buehler, who's a fore-play guest. We've had him on the show before.
That's true.
I went.
That's crazy. I typed in Walker Buehler foreplay because I thought he was on the show, and it didn't come up.
That's funny because I tried to find a clip on Twitter that I could maybe tweet out right as like the game finished up because they're all talking about him, and I couldn't really find it either. But I know he was on the show.
Dude, I was sitting there watching the game on the stream, and I was gonna bring it up, and I thought maybe I thought wrong because I
It
was
was definitely him, right?
it had to have been him.
Yeah, it was him. Especially because I went on Instagram and looked, and I looked him up, and he, bless you, he followed me on Instagram and had responded to one of my Instagram stories like 3 years ago, being like, "That course is amazing, enjoy it." And so he's clearly a golf guy. Max knows him really well, and he's been in our orbit, so I know he was on the show.
Damn, a quick Google search, nothing comes up.
Nothing. It's been scraped. It's like the Donald J. Trump interview on Rogan. You can't find it on YouTube anymore.
I saw him put that out on Twitter.
Yep, they're censoring the Walker Buehler podcast. Let's see if
They're
Frankie makes that shot.
I'm gonna make this shot, then we're gonna write to Nico. So is that it, right? We say hit it hard now, or we say it after?
Whatever you want.
We could do it after. Do it after.
Here we go.
You wanted to do it before.
Oh, my shit! That was like white chocolate. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Now
style.
1 in 10.
Did you break it?
10? 1 in 10. 1 in
Says
10. 1 in 10. You guys know the song?
No,
Don't wanna
No.
be your monkey ranch.
is that the guy who
All
what was he
right.
in the news for recently?
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Real
It
hard.
says it. 4 p.m. on November 2nd, 2020, we interviewed Walker Buehler, is what it says. In
I
my
don't
email.
believe it.
Hit it hard.
What is that from? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. How do you not know? Super bad.
Super bad.
When he
In the
gets
liquor
fucking-
store.
Yeah.
Okay.
He gets knocked out.
Mhm.
She's like, oh my God. I don't believe it.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard. To put it simply, Precision Pro makes the best rangefinders in golf, offering the most accurate, durable, and feature-rich options on the market. We've been using these for a few months now. I got a really cool one. It's USA themed. The case for it is Payne Stewart, Pinehurst themed. It's really, really, really cool. The rangefinder is phenomenal. It's sturdy. It's got that feel, man. I know we've all felt a rangefinder that somebody threw in your hand that didn't have the right feel. It felt cheap. It felt flimsy. It felt like it was going to fall apart. That means you're not going to rely. You're not going to trust. You're not going to believe in the number that it gives you. The Precision Pro is rock solid. It's reliable. They got a bunch of great options. They've got a simple rangefinder, the NX9 slope. They got a rangefinder with over 30 interchangeable designs, the NX10 slope. And then they've got the best of the best. They got the Titan and the Titan Elite. So they got a perfect rangefinder for every golf. These things are as good as it gets, gentlemen.
I think I'm getting a special one sent to me. And I'm just looking at my Simply Safe camera right now to see if it's outside. And I do see a package. I should go get it, but I don't. That doesn't look like this would be it. I should go look though.
What's
a special-
special about it?
I saw someone. They said we're sending you this one, and the guys had white gloves on holding it. Like it's as special as it can get. Let me go take a look. You guys finish this up. If it's not it, you won't see me again for this. I just want to say Precision Pro is the best in the game. We were with the good guys. They have the good ones. We have them. Like you could just tell, like everyone that's in this field that's playing golf a lot and that are using these rangefinders, they're using Precision Pro. It's as simple as that. I'm gonna go see if it came yet. If it didn't, I'm gonna show it on the next show.
I love it. They're trusted by elite collegiate programs like the Oklahoma men's and USC women's golf teams, as well as numerous tour pros, tour caddies, and hundreds of thousands of golfers across the globe. You go to precisionprogolf.com today. Use our code fore-play to receive $30 off all rangefinders. So $30 off. Code is fore-play. That is precisionprogolf.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're joined on the podcast, I think, with the entire group, maybe for the first time. I know Nico was on with Dan before, and we've jumped on social, seen him around different tournaments before, but Nico Echavarria coming off his second PGA Tour win, the Zozo Championship in Japan. He fended off Justin Thomas, Colombian golfer, going to play in the Masters for the first time this spring. You're back in Jacksonville right now. Is that where you're at?
That gave me the chills, that intro. Yeah, I'm back in Jacksonville. Still in Japan time because I haven't slept at all. I woke up at, I think, 2 a.m. this morning. Cloud 9 right now. No sleep, a lot of coffee. So we're doing great.
I was going to ask you about Japan and how much that messes you up, because I know pre-COVID there was a stretch where they would, the tour was trying to do a little bit more of kind of a cohesive Asian swing, and guys would go over there for 3 weeks or so, at least to that part of the world, and get acclimated, maybe play a couple European tour events combined with it. This one I feel like was a little wild. It's like you guys go over, fly all the way to Japan, one tournament, fly back. You clearly handled it the best of anybody. What was it? Did you have to go over extra early to try to get acclimated? How'd you handle it?
I don't know. I mean, when we did the Europe swing this year, we went from John Deere to Scottish, and then we finished off the Olympics and then came back for Wyndham. I felt it wasn't that bad, but this week it's bad, man. Maybe it's also we got pretty drunk after the tournament. Then we were on a flight for 15 hours, and just not ideal. The body's not doing good, but I worked out this morning, and I think it's slowly gonna get better. But I don't know how like people in the European tour do. Like they were Spain to South Korea, then I think they're playing in Abu Dhabi or something 2 weeks in a row. That's just insane. There has to be a trick for it.
A hungover 15-hour flight is comparable to, I think, a 10-year prison sentence. That's got to be as bad as it gets.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't the only one hungover. I think a lot of caddies and players were struggling. So I don't know if it was like all the emotions that I had and the adrenaline, everything put together, that those first, I think, 30 minutes or an hour of the flight, just looking at the little map and seeing only ocean, it was freaky, man.
Was it a charter flight? It was like a charter flight with everybody?
Yeah, it was a United flight chartered. Yeah, pretty much the whole tournament was there. Some people stayed in Japan since there's no events this week, but a lot of players' wives and caddies were in that flight.
There's been like a few Sunday morning flights for me after a golf trip where it's tough. Like you guys were on the charter flight at least, so people kind of like all understood that everybody was in the same boat. But man, you get on with the gin pop and you're sitting there. They keep those planes cold as shit. And we're all on the group text being like, dude, my fucking plane, it's like 57 degrees on this plane, and I'm just sitting here sweating profusely because I'm so hungover. And the guy next to me has to just be like, what is wrong with this young man?
It's a hit or miss with the temperatures on planes. It's rare that you're comfortable with the AC and the it's like sometimes it's 95 degrees and sometimes you're shaking.
Yeah.
And you usually can tell, like, when they give you the little blanket, you're in for a cold one. Like, whenever you got the blanket on your lap, that's because you're like, I'm not going to use this blanket. I'm an adult. And then you see businessmen, you see CEOs cuddling underneath the blanket because it's 12 degrees in there. When you're chartering a plane with the rest of the tournament, like, how much conversation are your peers, your other players, like, having with you about your week? Like, are they kind of like talking your ear off about what you saw out there, how you were able to kind of defeat the golf course? Or is it just like, business as usual, everyone just does their thing after Sunday?
I think everyone was just tired and sleepy, and during the flight, there was more banter, you would say, going to the airport and in the lounge before boarding. But once we boarded, everyone was in their seats sleeping or going crazy like I was the first couple of hours.
Yeah. I think that's pretty standard as well with buddies' golf trips. There's a little bit of band. Once you get on that plane, like the three of us travel a lot together, and it's once you get in that seat, it's like, all right, dude, like I'll see you when the wheels hit the touchdown. I got to get through this my own way. How was Japan overall? Were you able to, I know you got to get acclimated, you got to play the golf, you're in contention. Were you able to go out, dinners, experience it a lot? Because I've heard Japan could be if you do it right, one of the coolest places to go.
Has any one of you guys been to Japan?
No.
I'm not gonna say it's gonna be forever my favorite country in the world, but it's up there.
Wow.
Especially like the people, the cleanliness, the culture, the welcomeness from everyone, the quality of food, dude. Some steaks that I think we went to dinner on Tuesday, and we ate. It was 6 of us. We ate a lot of meat, and we didn't pay more than $35-$40 per person, and we had drinks too.
Wow.
And it was, and I've never had a steak like that.
Wow.
The
Really?
sushi every day in the course. I mean, it's just hard to describe. Their standards are so much higher than ours.
Yeah, I've heard that from a lot of people that have traveled there. Our buddy Roan, one of our coworkers, just got back from there, and he's like, it's really hard to describe how good it is. And he talks about the people and the culture and stuff. We kind of like, we went to Hawaii, and I felt such a different just like culture change, even though it's in America, but like they actually care about the land and they care about things that we do not care about. So I could see that being even more on display in Japan, where it's like everywhere you go, every restaurant, every hotel, like it's just different. It's a different vibe.
I think Hawaii, you can say it's halfway there.
Yeah.
I would say half Japanese, half half
It's on its
American.
way, for sure.
The signs on the bathrooms are in Japanese. A lot of signs in Japanese, and it's like, whoa, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, we loved we were kind of blown away a little bit just by the respectfulness of the Hawaiian culture. And we were kind of talking a lot because none of us really knew the history like we probably should between Hawaii, the U.S., how close is it to Asian culture? It felt like there was definitely some kind of blend. And within a day, because we did this sunrise siesta, I can't remember exactly the term, it was like this sunrise ceremony, and it was all about respecting the sunrise. And I'd heard so much about kind of Japanese culture and how respectful it is, not just of, person to person, but of everything around and the surroundings. And then getting that experience in Hawaii, I can't even imagine it times 100 being in Japan, Tokyo, a lot of these like ancient cities. I feel like it was like our first little taste of what that must be like.
You know what's really cool? That maybe some people don't notice, but there's no trash cans. Like you're eating a bag of chips, that's your trash. You fold it, you put it in your pocket, and once you get home, you throw it away.
Really?
Wow.
And it's like a culture shock. Like that's how we take care of our stuff. A lot of trash cans out there kind of look dirty or messy, and that's something awesome, I thought.
We'd be in prison in Japan. We'd be in prison if we went to Japan. We could.
That's almost like when they say that they should take helmets off of football players because they won't tackle as hard. Like if you take all trash cans away from Americans, they won't throw as much shit on the ground.
That's interesting. They might throw just as much shit on the ground, but they also might do what you're saying. It might have the effect of, I'm going to take this and I'm going to take care of it.
Well, I know that they have more respect for their land and they are more respectful culture for sure. But like, I do think that that's probably because they have those types of customs like that's just normal to them to not have trash cans. For us, it's like there's a trash can on every single corner in New York City. Of course, you're going to have a banana peel and you're going to throw it towards it because it's just available. But
And
I think if
that
that
banana
away,
doesn't go in,
right,
you're kind of
goes on the floor.
it's
I mean,
okay.
New York City is a disaster right now. It's an
Bad
absolute
example.
disaster. I've been
Bad
going every
example.
single night last night, like every single night this week to watch the Yankees. It's real bad. Like you walk to some of the nicest restaurants in the world and you're like stepping over people and it's like it's fucking bad right now.
We had a bad experience in New York with a homeless person, and the homeless person spit on my girlfriend's back.
Oh,
whoa.
Yeah.
Someone just spit on my car yesterday. Some guy came up to my car and asked me for money. And I was like, I have no cash. I did the wave. I'm like, I got nothing. And he just spit on my window. And I was like, he hocked a loogie on it. I was like, this is insane. I was on the phone with my wife. I'm like, this place is insane.
Wait for this. There's a delivery guy that saw everything happen. I was shocked. Like I didn't move. And the delivery guy, it's a local. And
he spit on her?
Yeah. And on her back. We were waiting to order a juice or something. We were online. There's this guy comes back and like, dude, and they keep walking. The guy right next to us sees that, starts running at him and starts beating the crap out of him.
Oh
it's
my
like
gosh.
from a movie. Yeah.
Wow.
New York.
Yeah, that's insane.
Go Yankees.
Fuck,
Yeah.
man.
Right.
On the topic of cultures, we've got a guy, in our orbit, Jersey Jerry, who's been pitching us heavy on Colombia. He wants us to go and do a golf trip down in Colombia. Is that something you would recommend? Is there great golf down there? Like what for guys who might head down there in the next year or so? What would you recommend?
Well, what's you guys? I mean, I know you guys travel a lot with golf, for fun. Also a little work, but more for fun. What do you guys think is more important? The quality of golf, the aftermath, the dinners, because there is pretty much everything. It's just you can do it different ways.
I would say the quality of golf is the least important. Like I think
That's what I thought.
Yeah, like obviously cool courses are fun and we talk about them a lot, but I think if we're going to go down to Colombia, I think we would be going down there for showcasing like, yes, golf exists. There's some pretty cool courses, but to go down to just Colombia in general, the culture, the scene, what the hang's like at the courses, what the hospitality is like, what the people are like that would be kind of the whole pitch.
I would do like a 4 or 5 day trip, spend 2 days in Bogota, 2 days in Medellin, where I'm from, and probably 1 or 2 days in Cartagena. That would be 6 days. Play 3 or 4 out of the 6 days. Don't be too tired, and you can have some fun after. You can go out and eat pretty good food. So 4 or 5 days in those cities would be plenty, and it's a cool trip. I mean, it's only 3 hours from Miami.
Wow,
that is nice.
Wow.
Yeah, we got to get down there.
Yeah.
Who are the guys that we met at the President's Cup? Is it One Putt Colombia? They got like a little
One
Instagram.
Putt
Have
Colombia,
you ever
yeah.
ran into them?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, golf is tiny, dude. Golf back home is minimal. There's such a soccer fever that golf is minimal. Everyone knows each other, and they've done really good.
Yeah, they came up to us at the President's Cup in Carolina, and they were like the most respectful, just nice guys we'd really come across in the business. Like they were like, we watch your videos, and this is like we basically try and become you guys, the Colombian version, and we're starting to get the respect and like the involvement of some of the Colombian golfers. And he's like, they had like a tear in their eye meeting us, and it was really cool. So
they started the podcast because of you guys, I think. I mean, they wanted that idea.
It's amazing. So I actually follow them and I watch all their stuff, and I can't read any stuff that they write, but I watch it all, and like and I read it, and they get super pumped for guys like you, and they go nuts. So yeah, it's great. We definitely need to make a trip down there. I know that like if we do, we should like include them in one of the videos or something. It'd be awesome to just get that whole the culture really diving deep into it.
Yeah, a scramble against them would be cool.
Yeah, that would.
I think that'll be fun. Nothing too crazy. 2-3 days in golf, how I said, and just have a lot of fun in a week or less than a week.
So really, the only thing I know about Medellin is like they couldn't get the movie to go well in Entourage.
That's right.
Like,
and then when
Vince
it
and Billy
finally
like
came
fucked
out,
up the movie in Entourage.
Billy
That's really
ruined
the only
it,
thing I
and
know.
they had a good trailer, and then what's his face tried to buy it. The
I've never
before
seen
Harvey was
Entourage.
canceled.
You've never seen Entourage?
Oh,
wow, there's a whole
you
thing
would
about
love
your home city. The whole thing
Is that right?
It's a massive storyline.
Would you compare Entourage to like The Office or Friends in that way? Like it's a comedy, or I've seen episodes. I've seen what is it about? Like the movie star and the whole Entourage.
It's a comedy, but it's
Definitely.
not so much like trying to get a laugh out of you as much as The Office. I mean, The Office, Friends is one thing. There's a laugh track. There's a live audience. Like they're laughing at every single thing. Someone walks into the room, you hear the laugh. The Office is a little bit more dry humor. It feels like you can watch a full episode and they try and sneak laughs in there, and you have to know the characters. And then I think Entourage is even more that, where it's like you have to watch season upon season to get storylines, and it's a little bit more of a drama. Like there's guys that you need to know their story arc, like where they came from, who they're friends with, who they're fucking over. Like that all adds to the funniness.
It's more like
also.
Billions a little bit. You ever watch Billions?
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost a little bit more like you're living vicariously through the show a little bit. Like that's everybody's sort of dream, is like you or one of your buddies is a goddamn movie star and you all live together and you go around Hollywood. But it also has a really good comedic aspect. Like Ari Gold is one of the funniest characters in history, and you're into the drama.
Yep.
Yeah.
He goes
like
nuts.
super agent.
I've seen a couple episodes.
Yeah,
he goes
he's
nuts.
fucking
Great show.
great.
Highly
Yeah.
recommend watching it. It's really good.
I'll
Yeah.
start it. I'll start it.
It is a really good show. No, I know Ontario. What I mean, we've been saying it wrong the whole time. Medellin. It's Medellin. Is that how you're supposed to
Medellin?
say it?
Yeah, the double L is
Medellin.
a G sound.
Medellin.
Medellin.
Well,
Medellin,
recently-
like Italian.
Medellin.
It's Medellin.
Medellin.
I recently watched the two Escobars, which is the 30 for 30 on just the whole Colombian and all that. And obviously don't want to get into like the bad history, but it made me think when I saw that you were up there and then you won, it gave me like the chills for the country of Colombia and where sports are at, because I started thinking about the soccer team and the World Cup. And then I was looking it up to make sure that I was right. And it was like, the Colombian soccer team is still top 10 soccer team in the world right now. And like you're coming out and you've won multiple PGA Tour events. And it almost gave me, it legitimately gave me the chills thinking about like how in just 20 years or so that Colombian flag in the world of sport has come such an insanely long way in a much cleaner way that it's like you must feel insane pride like representing your country in the Olympics and the going out and winning multiple tour events like that. Like I said, that gave me the damn chills.
It's hard to explain to people how big soccer is and how small golf is. The golf is so elite for only people that are members of a club. There's very little public courses, and hopefully one day, if we keep playing good golf, we can change that. We can change that and build a shit ton of courses, or me, Sebastian, and Camilo can put something together. And I don't know, just thinking for the good and for the growth of the game. That would be insane.
I'm looking here too. You're talking about sports in Colombia, and I was trying to think because I'm so deep in MLB playoffs. I'm a Yankees fan. We got the World Series. I'm thinking like, who are the best Colombian baseball players? And there's a pretty
Cabrera.
deep. Oh my God,
Yeah.
we got Orlando Cabrera, but you also got Edgar Renteria. No, wouldn't he be number one?
Edgar Renteria for the Cardinals.
Jose Quintana. Gio Urshela, who's in, Julio Tirana. Like, you guys have some pretty damn good players in there, and a lot of them are young. Like, in that top list, a lot of them are in their early 30s, late 20s. So, like, there is that resurgence. There's that surge of Colombian baseball players as well.
And I think it's comparable to golf because baseball in Colombia is only played in the coast. So if you open a map, there's maybe 3 or 4 big cities that are in the coast in the north. We get the Atlantic on the right, top right, and we get the Pacific on the top left. So all the baseball is in Cartagena, Santa Marta, and Barranquilla. Those are 3 cities, and they produced a lot of good baseball players.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Crazy.
So it's all just central. It's all
the rest
right
of the country
that...
doesn't play baseball.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder if that helps them, like that's like where all the competition is. So like you have to, like, if you're gonna make it out of those 3 cities, you're pretty freaking good.
Think about football in Texas.
Right, that's exactly right. Like the competition is as high as it's gonna get in your area. So if you can make it out of there as the best, all eyes are on you. It's like if you made it out of those 3 cities, you're number one.
When I was growing up playing hockey, it was like that, where you pretty much had to go north to play the best competition. It's getting bigger, but I mean, if you think about it now, like hockey in the U.S. is pretty damn regional. Like people in SEC country don't play ice hockey. Like that doesn't really exist.
That's probably similar. Yeah.
It's like Austin Matthews coming from Arizona is like the most insane thing of all time.
Yeah. And I remember like one year, 10 years ago or so, we had a couple, whatever the number was, maybe it was 3 or something, first round draft picks came from St. Louis. It was like the Stasdy, and I remember that just being crazy. But then when you looked at it, it was because Al McInnes and Basil McRae, who were like legends for the Blues, retired and then stayed in St. Louis. And then they developed the youth hockey system. And then 10, 20 years later, a lot of those kids that finally had good coaching became really good. So it's like, it's funny how it takes that to develop kind of good play. And it seems like you've got kind of aspirations for that in golf.
We might be a couple years away from our first Colombian hockey player, but I'm not going to take that off the list.
50 years from now, at least. Maybe 80 years.
I want it now. I'm going to say the year 2074 is our first Colombian NHL player.
It'll be the Cool Runnings version of a Colombian hockey player.
But it can't
Great
be like
movie.
the mom is Colombian and the
No,
dad
they have
is
to come from there.
American, and he grew up in the States and
no
border
it's
of
gotta
Canada
be-
and the U.S. No, it can't be like that.
I need Colombia to start coming up with dude. They don't have a hockey rink in Colombia, right? There's not one in the whole entire country.
There's ice rinks, but in like malls,
Okay,
you know.
Right.
Not nothing.
Hey, that's a
But-
start. Like one kid just falls in love with it, and like
Way more than
Just-
I thought.
like that's a
You
start.
imagine the Otani of Colombia being like the greatest hockey player of all time.
I mean, you guys are fast as hell. Like, I mean, there is a the blend between soccer and hockey. I feel like now I talked to one of my buddies who's from London, and he was saying like just in Europe, a lot of soccer players are now starting to pick up in like non-hockey areas just how similar it is with like the formations and playing defense, and like it's not the same, but there's that similarity of like we have to get into zones and we have to like
how
collapse
you
on the
move
guy
and how
coming
you
into the
open
zone.
space.
Exactly.
But
so like, of
whether
course,
in
it's really
Colombia-
hard to put blades on your feet, but like once you get past that, you do start to feel the same.
It's a huge
the
barrier.
same energy.
A huge barrier.
Frank, you're getting way too excited about this. The weather in Colombia is never gonna change. We're never gonna have snow. We're never gonna. It's always gonna be an outdoor country. But
Yeah.
I mean, 2074
Look at
is it's a good number.
Look at this. I'm talking to AI Google, and it says Colombia does not really currently have many ice rinks. However, Colombia does have a national ice hockey team.
Whoa.
The team debuted in 2014 at the Pan American Ice Hockey Tournament in Mexico. They played their first game against Argentina.
We're on our way. We are on our way. We're on a good trajectory for 2074. We are
Just
on a
Put
good
a coach
trajectory.
there. The Wayne Gretzky can go coach there. And we're
Hire
good.
the right guy. Just get the right guy in there. All protein bars generally taste the same, but not One bars. One made protein bars actually delicious with Reese's and Hershey's. We've been showcasing these in videos now for a little bit, whatever it's been, several months, and the taste in these things is just fantastic.
3 grams of sugar. 3 grams of sugar. And you'll taste these things. You got it. If you see them at the store, I'm sure you see them. You walk right by them. Grab them and try them. You won't believe that it's just 3 grams of sugar. They're delicious. They're protein bars. It helps me bridge the gap between lunch and dinner. If I get a little hungry around like 4:30, I grab a 1 protein bar. It fills me up, and I coast to dinner. So you got to get these things. Just try them. They got the cookies and cream. They got the Reese's. Both flavors are delicious.
Delicious. Absolutely. I just ran from downstairs. I knew exactly what you guys were talking about. You said 3 grams of sugar, and you said delicious. I knew exactly what it was.
Bang.
And they're incredible. That's all I have in my house.
I got boxes of them.
Boxes.
And I love them. Every time I see them, I'm like, I think I'm going to have one of those. And then I do. And I'm happy that I did. Riggs has them
I'm
right now.
just
He
gonna
told me.
showcase them right now because they even like they're delicious, but they just look great when you're hungry. You're out there on the golf course. You want a little snack that's going to be delicious, good for you. These things are fantastic. 18 grams of protein, only 3 grams of sugar. Try new One Reese's Peanut Butter Lovers Protein Bar and One Hershey's Cookies and Cream. Check them out right now. They're fantastic. Try the new One bars.
Let's get back to your win for a second. And Riggs mentioned it off the top that you held off some big names in this tournament. Justin Thomas, Ricky Fowler. Are you thinking about those guys when the tournament is happening? Are you like, holy shit, I got these names behind me? Or are you focused on your own game and you're trying to kind of put the blinders onto all that?
It's a hard question from hockey to that. You're thinking of who you're playing against, because winning in Puerto Rico helped, but obviously you're playing against a totally different field than the Arnold Palmer was that week, you know? And this week, let's say it was half between Puerto Rico and Arnold Palmer. It's a good comparison.
Yeah.
So you are thinking of the players like, I gotta beat Justin Thomas. He's kind of back. Like the way he played for 36 holes, from what I saw, is good shit. Max Racerman this putter was on fucking fire. He hits the ball a long way. Ricky was there. There was a lot of orange Japanese people in the crowds in front of us. Morikawa was there. He hasn't won this year, but he's finished second, I feel like 50 times. He won there last year. Xander, you can arguably say it's the second best player in the world. So it's now that I'm thinking, it's like giving me chills because you don't think that at the moment. You're just trying to stay in your own lane. You're playing good golf. Don't think about that shit because it's gonna affect you more than it's gonna help you. But the tournament is more important because those guys are playing.
Do you watch the guys in your group? Like, I know you have to, on a courtesy level, watch so that you could just be a respectful golfer in a group. But are you trying to almost block out what other guys are doing so that you could just focus on what you're doing, or does it not really affect you too much?
Sometimes you watch, mostly on par threes, you watch the shot, especially if they're hitting first. The wind's tricky, you watch. If you have a similar putt to them, you watch. But I'm gonna say something that I didn't say to anyone. I didn't watch JT putt on the back nine just because every putt looked like it was gonna go in, and I didn't see it on, I don't know, the 10th hole. And it was kind of similar to my line, and I said, I think I'm gonna keep doing this because that ball should go in, and it's not going in.
Yeah, a little stitious, just a little stitious.
A little
out there.
bit, and I don't consider myself a superstitious person, but it's one of those things that he's playing really good golf. He said that, I mean, that would be a tournament that he would have won most of the times if the ball just wasn't going in, and I'm kind of glad the ball didn't go in.
What?
I love that. You gotta try anything you can. We've done that in our matches.
Yeah, one scramble, Trent had like his left foot in the air, or his head turned to the left or something when people were just missing putts every time he did that.
Unfortunately, I think that was the Sam Burns scramble. Early on, I had him in a house of horrors, not watching his putts, and then he blew us out. But it works.
Some people flip the hat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or stuff like that.
Rally caps. It works until it doesn't. That's kind of the mantra.
Yeah. Until that putt goes in and it's like, oh, that shit didn't work.
That's right.
It never did.
That's right.
How are the I know you mentioned that obviously a lot of the fans are running around in the Ricky Orange and stuff. How are the crowds in general? It looks like they're wild and pretty damn intense, for a little fall event. But I know golf's huge over there. So how are the crowds?
Yeah, golf is huge. It was a fall event, but it was an elite field event. There were a lot of people there. The weather was perfect. It didn't rain any days. Normally that time of the year can rain a lot, but they were very polite. They were clapping even if you shanked a shot or if you had a bunker shot. They were and it was
awesome.
It was very cool. It's very cool to not see the stupid guy yelling "light the candle" or that gets old, These guys were true gentlemen watching golf.
God, they must just like watch the Phoenix Open. They like their whole country can't even watch the Phoenix Open. They just have to black out golf for that.
They
week.
watch that Yankee fan pry the ball out of Mookie Betts' hand last night. We're like, what is this?
Sports. It's the funniest thing that's ever happened in a sports game ever. And anyone that finds that not to be funny is a huge loser with a huge dump in their pants.
I love it.
People were like, how could you root for such classless art? It's like, dude, that's the guy literally grabbed a ball out of one of the greatest players in the game's mitt during a game. And his other friend grabbed his wrist and goes, get out of here. Like, what are we doing? But I wanted to say, did you guys see the comparison between, like, they would show Billy's in the Bronx and then they would show the Japanese, like, bar, like, to watch Ohtani?
Yeah.
Have you guys been seeing the comparison? Mm-hmm. It is laugh out loud funny how different it is. I mean, they'll show, like, Billy's going nuts and beers flying everywhere and people punch each other in the face. And then they cut to that one restaurant where they're all sitting on like little stools and they're just hitting those little like noisemakers, bop, 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 bop. And it was in unison. It was like militaristic. It was bizarre, but they're just sitting there, just boom, 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 boom. And then down by their side. Like,
it's a weird culture. They have emotion, but I don't know if it's kind of right to show their emotions.
Right.
Because they are so uptight. They follow the rules. Like, these is how it happens. Like the speed limit. You don't go over the speed limit, period. So it's kind of weird. Like, awesome people, but us Colombians are very different.
Yeah, it's probably a tough adjustment for sure. But that does go to show why. I mean, golf is made for that. Like golf
Yes,
is kind of made for
Yeah.
that. Like respect the game, you honor it. It's self-policing.
it's refreshing to play.
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, so that it's probably at its peak. Like, old golf media probably loves going to watch golf
They love
in
it.
Japan. Jeff Shackelford is like, he just wants to build his house out there on the
Just
second hole.
cumming himself whenever the
Just,
Zozo
oh,
comes
God,
around.
the respect of the game. Oh my
Mhm.
God.
Mm-hmm.
We're out there dapping up golfers and fucking
Yeah.
We got, we're blaring like country music.
Different.
And he's just
Yeah.
got it.
Sunday morning. He's like, what is that?
Different. Definitely different.
But it's different.
Yeah.
There's not one right or one wrong.
Right.
It's also cool to play under that type of people just
Yeah.
because it's different.
I think it's really cool. You get to see so many. I mean, you are, you're from Colombia, so you've already, like, to us, you've seen a different style of the game of golf, but you guys really get to see the differences around the whole world. And we've been lucky enough to now travel and see, like, even just going to Hawaii. I've talked about that at the top, like, just totally different culture, totally different vibe, the way that they respect the game, especially the way they respect the golf courses, and just everything is just a little bit different. So it's got to be cool for you to be able to see so many different cultures and eating at different restaurants. Like, traveling the world is such an honor. It's such a privilege. Like,
Yeah.
not many people get to do this, man. Like, most people, especially here in America, like, they don't leave their town, let alone their state. Like, you
I've
don't
never had a
really
passport.
travel.
Why would I need a passport? And it's
Yeah.
insane.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Cool.
and I know, like, different countries, like, traveling is part of the culture, especially in Europe. You can get to a million different countries in a matter of hours. But for here, it's like, when I grew up, it's like you had your one trip a year, and you picked it out, and like, you're like, we're going to Montana. Like, it's not even like that crazy of a trip. But now,
Montana's
I mean,
pretty
like,
cool.
it is cool. It is cool.
But I know what you're saying.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's got to be. I mean, did you ever envision ever being able to do anything like that, and let alone traveling, but going out and competing? Because we see the different types of grasses and different types of grain, and how much a golf course can change from week to week. And you're going out there and you're winning in Puerto Rico and Japan. You've got, you start. Yeah, it is islands, but like, you're starting to really. Was there any similarity in the grass? I mean, or is that a dumb question? Okay.
Kind of. It is. The grass in Japan is very thick. It's
Okay.
You can relate it to like a St. Augustine in Florida, like a thick, rough grass. They just maintain it well, and I feel like in Puerto Rico it's so hot there that it's kind of similar to Florida-ish. Yeah, there's some comparison. You can compare it that way.
Do you at all base your schedule around certain types of grass? Because I know, like Kevin Kisner, for example, who grew up, South Carolina, he goes west, Poana, all that stuff. He despises it. Yet you look like a guy like Tiger or Max Homa. They grew up in California, Poana. That's where they win all the time. Do you factor that into the tournaments you play?
That's a good question. I feel like at some point I will, since the sport has become so big in statistics, but I yet don't have enough rounds in the PGA Tour to tell. You kind of have an idea, but you still don't know. Paula is the hardest the greens to putt in, but in Bermuda, it's also hard to chip around. So I still can't tell you if I'm a California person or a Florida person, just because I don't have enough rounds. Like, Tiger has been on tour for so many years that he picks a schedule based on what he's done well. Hopefully he changes to the places that he can walk easier, which is sad, but it's true. I mean,
Yeah.
the PGA Tour would be so much better if he just plays a couple times a year in Hilton Head or somewhere flat.
Do you have a favorite player to watch?
I have too many. I'm that big of a golf nerd.
Are you? Do you watch golf when you're not playing?
I watch too much golf.
I like that.
I do.
I mean, I like when a
that too.
professional actually enjoys the sport. Like, it's almost refreshing. Sometimes, like, we'll talk. Not golfers aren't really that way, but like, for us, like, if I become buddies with like a professional athlete, or I'm having a drink and they're in the circle, and you want to kind of talk them about their sport, you sometimes get the feeling that they don't want to talk about it. It's like, dude, that's my work. Like, I just got like I don't want to do that. But for you to hear that like you can't get enough of it, and like once you're done with it, you're gonna watch it and you want to talk about it and you want to converse about it. That is refreshing.
Yeah.
It's nice that it's not like consuming your life to the point where you like hate it.
I don't know if it's gonna sound bad, but I hear that question, that answer too much of no, I don't watch golf. I don't know if they're trying to sound cooler and tougher, and I don't know. It just makes me, or maybe I'm the different person that I do like to watch golf. I was trying to take a nap yesterday. I think the Asian tour was on, and I wasn't paying much attention. I was trying to go to sleep, but it's still the Asian tour was on.
Yeah.
I love it. You like
We
can't
had a
sleep
debate on
'cause
the
you're
show.
like grinding over the Asian Tour golf.
We had a debate on the show
Yeah.
last show about like where we rank certain golfers. Like we were talking about like Brooks and Rory, and where do you like rank a couple of these like current golfers in the top 20, top 30 of all time? Like, are they there yet? And we were kind of getting into the discussion of how do you really rank like a major versus multiple PGA Tour wins? Like, do you have
I
any
saw a
feeling
video.
on that yet?
I
Like,
saw a video yesterday.
yeah, do you have any like opinion on that? Like, where I mean, obviously you may be a little biased, like you're coming off like an actual regular win there, but like where should like the viewer rank certain wins over other wins? You know, like is that fair to be able to rank one over
Nico's
another?
like Zozo Championship, man. And even
Yeah,
though
number
it's
one.
Puerto
just
Rican Zozo
sorta-
Championship are bigger
Yeah.
than the Masters.
Yeah.
I mean,
Bigger than the Masters.
Only the all-time greats have won those tournaments.
It's pretty crazy the names for that have won the Zozo though.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That's
it's
surreal.
insane.
But going back to that, I was watching the highlights, watching golf again. They were comparing Scotty's year to Xander's year. They haven't given the Player of the Year award, and at first I said, "There's no way Scotty's not gonna win this." I mean, how is he not gonna win this? He's won 100 times this year, and Xander won 2 majors. So I would say it's more depending on the person you ask, what their priorities are. I haven't won a major yet. I haven't played in that many majors. So I would say Scotty's year was better just because of the dominance. But I think it was maybe Justin Rose who they asked that question, and he would say, I may pick Xander because I've already won a major. I won more majors, and it's a tough question.
It is.
I don't think there's a right answer.
It's crazy. I was just looking it up. Someone's only won 2 majors in a year 33 times in the history of the major championships. So
There
it's
you
like
go.
to do that for Xander.
How many
this year,
times has Tiger been that person?
Yeah, right. Like half of them.
bunch.
He's got
Exactly.
right. You could a bunch of those have been done by a handful of players or whatever that number is. So it is, maybe if it's only happened 33 times, maybe 20 of those times it's just 20 golfers that have done all 33 or whatever. So then you're starting to look at like, how could you say that's such an impressive feat? Xander does it and he's not Player of the Year. But man, Scotty's year, with how hard it is to win now and how good all you guys are and the equipment and how hard it is to separate yourself, his year was insane. And winning the Olympics, I think a lot of people kind of looking at the Olympics as like sort of a major. So
We're not even talking about Bryson's year. I mean,
Right.
I don't have anything against the LIV guys. I'm friends with everyone out there, or a lot of guys out there that I know. But Bryson, every time he competed in a major, he was, other than the British Open, I think he was in contention. He won the US Open and he had the chance to win the other 2. So that's insane too. I mean, the
Really
level
is.
of golf those 3 guys had this year was nuts.
And starting a YouTube channel and like just taking over basically the whole golf world, and then not really falling in his professional game is so impressive. Like he was posting YouTube videos right before the US Open. Everyone's like, is this even like, what is this guy even, where's his priorities at? Then he goes
His
out
PR
and wins.
person was the MVP of the year, though.
Oh yeah, I know.
Came from the most hated guy out there by far to, you could tell in the US Open how people were with him.
It's interesting with golf because like in other sports, you really rank just championships over everything else. Like you can have a great career, and then if you don't win that championship, like that's kind of how you're, ranked against your peers. But in golf, like you do have regular season, you do have playoffs, you have the FedEx and stuff, but like a win at the Zozo is still a fucking huge win. It's not like a regular season win. Like that is like, you won a mini championship. Like, you faced off against all these guys and went 4 days. You had to like fight them all off. That's not just like that's not a regular season win. So it is like, when Scotty does it as much as he did last year, it does feel less than majors, but like each win is still fucking huge. Like tons of money's coming in.
It is.
It's the biggest event that you can imagine. Like when you're there, especially elevated fields.
I would say it's unfair the way he made it look. Just unfair how he was doing it so easily. It's like shooting a free throw. Yeah, another win.
Right.
Yeah. We say it a lot too now that we get to go to so many more events. And I think Frankie said it at the end there, that when you're there, that event is the biggest thing in the world. It's the biggest thing to that town. Dude, when you go to Japan, like I can't even imagine. It's the biggest thing in the country. All the golfers in Japan, I'm sure for the last 8 months leading up to it, are like, we have tickets to go to the Zozo on Thursday. We're going to fly in. These are the guys that we want to watch. We can't wait till they release tee times. When you guys get on site, I'm sure you shake the hands of dozens of people that are involved in making that tournament become a reality, from the sponsors to the members of the club to those that worked, and they come from the US, they work for the PGA Tour, and then the PGA Tour moved them to Japan years ago so they could just work on building out this one event, and like everybody flies over. You've got Xander in the field and JT and you and these huge names. Like, it is the biggest thing in the world of golf for an entire week, and it's like something that'll go on your resume for the rest of your life if you can fend everybody off. And it's hard to explain how big of a deal that is. Obviously, you won the damn thing, but
this guy went out and won the damn thing. God.
It's insane. Damn. It's like it's insane.
You're making my head explode with how hard it is to run a tournament.
It's impossible. Golf is impossible.
You guys do it.
Like, Nico, like you had to play really well and then hope that no one else, just like without you having any impact on them, you just have to hope that they didn't play better. Like, that's how hard golf is. Like, you could play as well as you could possibly want to play, and then someone could go out there and just simply play better, and there's nothing you can do about it, and then you lose. You could play the best round of your life, best 4 rounds of your life, and then someone could go out there and just go nuclear, and you're like, well, what am I supposed to do? I couldn't play defense on them. I couldn't stop that ball from going in. It's the worst game in the world in that aspect, where it's like, how the hell are you supposed to win? How are you supposed to win? And you did.
You were saying that, and I just thought of Tiger in 2000 at Pebble. What if the 4th round his knee hurts, or not his knee hurts, he can't walk?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're not winning today.
Yeah,
right.
It's true.
It's so easy to not win.
Miguel Angel Jimenez finished 2nd. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, the mechanic.
Wow.
Mechanic was like
the
3 over.
The mechanic would have won a major if Tiger was sick that day. He lost by 20-something.
Another great nickname. We talked about nicknames. Nicknames aren't around anymore. Do you have any good nicknames? Do you have a nickname for yourself? Or like, well, not that you call yourself, but that people call you?
We went from Nicholas to Nico. It's just easier for
Nico's
Nicholas sounded like my
Nico
sounded like my
Nico's
mom.
a good one.
Like my mom was yelling at me saying Nicholas. So we just went
too many
Nico.
syllables.
Claudia, my girlfriend, came with that, and that was a strong PR move, I think.
Yeah,
that's great.
I got a response from Kirk Minahan about, because he was like, that's a great question, why there's no more nicknames in golf, and he was saying that writers used to give them to the players also, and that is no longer a thing. Like, there's not these like iconic writers that like everyone's reading in the newspaper, and like whenever someone would have a great win, they would write some sort of like, the mechanic was on the back nine. You're like, oh, the mechanic, like, oh shit.
Yeah.
There's no more of that.
How do you think he feels about being called the mechanic, or when you first heard, like, yeah, we're calling you the mechanic?
I don't know. I mean, I think
it could be worse.
Yeah, it could be worse.
Yeah,
I think
could have been like
pretty
the
good.
knee bender or something.
The worst
like one of his
nickname
warm-ups.
that ever a professional golfer has gotten.
The worst?
Oh, what's that? I saw the Tiger documentary the other day on HBO that Tiger's mom used to call Phil when he was chubby, not lefty, but hefty.
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 That's a bad one.
That's a tough one.
You remember that?
That's a tough one. Yep. That's a Coltita
Tiger's
Woods is
mom.
Damn, people might start calling me that.
Assassin.
Absolutely. Yeah, assassin. She's
from way downtown.
Oh.
Yeah, that Hefty's that's not a good nickname. You don't want to be that. No, Nico's solid. It's, there's not a lot of Nicos out there.
Yeah, that's good. I like it.
This episode is presented by Kraken, one of the longest standing and most secure crypto platforms in the entire world. Kraken is your guide to financial freedom, offering safe and simple access to crypto for all. Trusted by over 13 million individuals, traders, and institutions around the world, Kraken offers professional 24/7, 365 client support, along with one of the fastest, most performant trading platforms available. Crypto's all over the place right now, guys, and Kraken's doing it very, 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 very well.
Yeah, I mean, I got to get involved. It's something that I'm not really deep into, and it feels like it's going to pass me by, and I'm going to be pissed off I'm not a part of it. I
think
mean,
a lot of
everything's
people are in
already
that boat.
digital, huh?
I think a lot of people are in that boat, and you don't want to be.
Yeah, I mean, everything's digital already, so it feels like at some point in our lives, everything's just going to kind of switch. It's not like it would be that crazy of a switch. Like you're already, there's cashless arenas and there's cashless concerts and everything's kind of becoming cashless. Restaurants, they come over, you swipe a card or you have your phone and you double tap it. So it's like, what's the difference between what that's actually coming out of? So it's an interesting thought. Depends on how they actually get it regulated and all that stuff. And I think it's all moving in the right direction. So Kraken is where you should be going to learn about this and actually dive deep into it, which I will be doing. So we'll all go on this journey together.
We will. And Kraken leads, by the way, with transparency and trust, securing client funds, NFTs, and privacy through top-notch security, not investment advice. Crypto trading involves risk of loss and is offered to U.S. customers, excluding Washington, New York, and Maine, through Payward Interactive Incorporated. View legal disclosures at kraken.com/legal/disclosures. Go to kraken.com/barstool and see what crypto can be. That is kraken.com/barstool. Are you getting hyped up for Augusta yet? Are you going to plan to get out there pre-April?
Yeah, I wanna try to go at least once or twice. I talked to Camilo, is a good mentor of me. Talked to him a lot. He's seen it all. He's been there. He's done that, and he says in some way it's good to go there and kind of lose respect. Not lose respect, but if that's your first time going during the tournament, it's gonna be
You're going to be
you gotta be
all a little
scared.
bit.
I know
You're
what
gonna
you
be
mean.
in awe.
I know
You're
what you
gonna
mean
be
for sure. Yeah.
So, but he also told me like some chips during the regular week of the Masters are totally different than when you go a month before, because you're able to stop it with a 60 or with a 54 or whatever, and during tournament just a putter and see where it goes. So
Yeah.
But I haven't planned anything yet. No plans.
feel like
I'm gonna try to go though.
Maybe have a cocktail, take a couple pictures, have a couple laughs, leave for a month, and then next time you come back, it's all business, baby.
You got to get it in your head
Yeah.
that it's just a golf course.
Exactly.
There's fucking grass. There's holes in the ground. There's sand. It's like it's just a golf course.
It's not just a golf course, and you know that, Nico. Like, it's going to be unbelievably
Now,
intense.
here's
I'm
the
just,
part where Frankie's
Well,
Here
no,
we go.
like,
No, it's
scares
true.
the
Mess
guy.
up your mental.
it's going to
There you
be
go, Frankie.
unbelievably intense, and it's going to be so emotional, and your heart's going to be in your throat. But that's what makes it the fucking Masters, and you're going to win it one day if you're able to overcome it. And like, that's amazing, and that's why it's the
If it's
greatest championship. It's the greatest honor to go out there and win at that place because of everything else that comes with it. You're not going, no matter how many times you go out there. Tiger Woods still goes out there and gets that flutter, man. There's no chance he doesn't.
It's more of a mental grind or mental preparation than a swing or technique preparation by far.
I don't
Yep.
know. I'm saying yes, but yes.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah. When I play there,
Feel
it's
comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Correct.
There you go.
Correct. Yeah, that's what I've
Mm.
said every time I've teed it up there, which is good.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it is. It's a little bit. It's like going on you got to go on like a college tour. You got to like go like it's like going to. Yeah, you really want to go to this place, but like you have to go check it out first. You got to go see everything, so that like Amen Corner is not the first time you're looking at it. You gotta
It's
just
like
get that.
it's like going to see a haunted house with the lights on.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's
There you
nice.
go.
Yeah, a good one, friend.
Thank you.
Spooky.
It is nice.
I appreciate
Maybe
it.
That's
Trevor
the
Ellman
new
should take
rider.
that one.
2024 version of a golf rider, Trent Ryan. English major.
It's like
Mic
going
drop.
to a
That's a
haunted
cool-
house with the lights on. It's true. It's like you know where the turns are, you know what to expect, but then like when showtime hits, things are a little bit different. Things
Yeah.
are popping out of rooms.
You know what's there, but you still it's
Kind of get a
dark.
little
So
scared. Yep.
yeah,
How are you going to
gotta
react
feel
to
the
it when it
jitters.
happens? that first hole, like, you know, John Rahm, what he 4-putt that for,
And put it.
John Rahm made a double on number 1, he 4-putt it. It's like that didn't happen when the lights were on.
Right.
You know, the lights turned off and ghosts started coming out, and it's like, holy shit, this green is flying. And then it's just like, all right, we've been here before. We know the second hole, we know the third hole, we know where it goes. And then
he kind of gets in that mad spot where Rahm gets, and he's just transformed and losing respect for Augusta. And fuck everyone, I'm gonna beat the crap out of you, and I don't care where it is.
Right, fuck this golf course
because he doubled the first hole. So
yeah,
right.
True.
Do you have any of that? Does like anger at all in yourself or in your game? Like, does that drive you? Like, are you wear it on your sleeve type of golfer, or do you like console it all in?
I've tried to have more of an even kill. Kind of the highs were before too high, the lows were too low. So in Japan, it was cool to see, like, I bogeyed that par 5, 14, and I almost saw like, okay, we made actually a good bogey. This could have been the end of the tournament. Let's go out there. The next hole, I hit it in the bunker, and I hit an unbelievable shot. So it's been I prepared myself mentally with my sports psychologist to make that a strength instead of a weakness for me, and kind of be a more even kill. But we still see some emotion, some fist bumps, which I'm fine with that.
How deep is your team? Like, how many do you have a stats guy, sports psychologist, trainer, caddy? How many coach? Like, how many people? What's your entourage?
Claudia goes to almost every tournament. My coach, he has kind of an assistant or another person that he works with. Sometimes one goes, sometimes the other goes. Not every week, but maybe once a month. I see with him on the road or when I'm in Jacksonville. I have a sports psychologist who mostly has soccer players or tennis players,
recovery.
and he got into golf not too long ago. He works with the Paraguay's national soccer team, and so he's a kind of a tough guy. Not a lot of emotions. He tells you how it is, which is what I needed, because I consider myself weak mentally before. I have a trainer in Jacksonville. I have a physio on the road. I started working with a nutritionist. Well, not started working, but I got advice from a nutritionist like 3 weeks ago. That's a long list.
Like a whole class.
I have an agent that works for a big company. My caddy, who didn't go to Japan, but I went with a different person.
Uh-oh.
That's uh-oh.
He's okay.
Good luck handling that one.
Neil Best and Ringo Starr, man. You know, you just one guy fills in, ends up being in the fucking
Pete
Beatles.
Best.
Pete Best, sorry, Neil Best.
So yeah, it's a long list. It's a lot of things that come for a professional golfer to win or to even get on tour. The things that you don't see.
Working. Whatever you do is working.
Well, yeah, and I got like that win, man. Like all of those people work day in and day out, and their connection with you is to get a win, you know? And it's like that's what they're doing, and then you win, and it's like how cool is that? That's what everybody's objective is. You got this whole team, you go out and win. Everyone's like, that's what we're here to do. That's the goal.
Yeah, I work with Eduardo in Stats Molinari, and I work with James Ridyard in short games. So that's 2 more.
Jeez,
that's a lot of coaches and guys.
Yeah, it's a big squad. That's a
hell
big
of a
squad. It's obviously working. Things are trending upward.
What I like is that I consider myself kind of a lazy person, and I have experts in their areas, so I let them do their job. I believe in them, and I know they're gonna give me the best advice they can. So that's a different way to think about it.
I think a big part of your success is that I clearly could tell that you know yourself, and you've gotten over the years to kind of know yourself. You're like, I consider myself pretty weak mentally. Like I don't think I've ever heard any professional athlete say that. Or you're like, I'm pretty lazy.
It just came out that way. But
but it's just like
it's something that I needed to address.
Yeah.
Right.
So I picked this person for that matter.
I mean, you just said it out loud, but like, golf psychologist it's like the number one job now, like on tour. Like every single guy is like trying to find their person. So I mean, that is a weakness in everyone's game. Clearly, if they're like trying to get someone from the outside to help them with a process or thinking through certain shots, like, I mean, everyone knows that that's something that they're trying to get better at. You just happen to say it. I don't think that's crazy to say that that's a weakness. I mean, if it's not a strength, it is a weakness. So,
yeah, it's also like you can't putt or you can't hit your long irons. You're just weak mentally. You can't hit the driver in play. You have the left, you have the right. That's also maybe even more important than any other aspect in like the swing or the game.
Yeah.
Right. Totally. No, man, it's cool to hear like what it takes, and what it takes to work on and improve yourself, and then to see the results and get that win is very, very fun to watch. Very, very fun to watch.
No, thank you guys. Thanks for having a different product out there. It's just sometimes it gets boring to talk about golf all the time. Golf is not that exciting, and you guys make it fun talking about the universe, like Frankie, or you about hockey, or Trent about Iowa. I'm a fan of you guys, so
appreciate that.
Golf nerd.
You're the best, Nico. You're the best.
Very,
Thank
very
you. You're out
nice.
there winning tour events. So congratulations, man. Friend of the program. Appreciate you coming on. I know we kept you like a full hour, and you're a busy guy. You probably got a million
Have
people
some
to check
interviews
in
coming up, so yeah.
No, he's
We
lazy.
went long.
He's lazy as shit.
Hail
We went
Mary.
long. All right, we're gonna let you go. Thank you, Nico. Congratulations, you're the man, and we'll see you soon, hopefully.
Thank you guys. That was
Thanks,
a lot
Nico.
of fun.
Thank you, Nico.
Thank you.
Bye bye.